is Jewish Heritage Month, and he's the organizer of the LEAH Shopsowitz Fund Film Festival Against Anti-Semitism. Noah Shopsowitz joining us on Canada Now. Hey, Noah, it's great to have you on the show.
Hi, Jeff. It's a pleasure. It's a sunny day in Toronto. Everybody's feeling great.
Oh, good. And I'm glad to hear you're doing well as well. Now, the film festival that ran this past February, how was it?
Great opportunity to be able to showcase films. The history of the LEAH Shopsowitz Fund started 40 years ago. My late mother, Lillian LEAH Shopsowitz, passed away and left a small amount that I invested with the Toronto Jewish Fund with the UJA. And over the years, we've been able to help finance a number of films. The film festival itself consisted of 5 films that we helped to support, all on Jewish subjects, all dealing with very different aspects of the Jewish experience. And it was really a tremendous success. We held it at the Leah Poslins Theater, which is a fantastic new facility, which is at the UJA Center up on Bathurst Street.
Yeah, and some of the films that were a part of this year's festival, Punch Me in the Stomach, which was the story of the daughter of a concentration camp survivor, Half the Kingdom, explores the role of the modern-day Jewish woman. And you know, as you talked about, it all started with your mother and leaving behind a sum of money for you to decide on and how to support the community. And you've done it quietly, like funding film and video projects that really focused on Jewish identity and the Jewish life. And you've been doing it quietly. I dare to say that I think your mother would be very, very proud of the work you've been doing over the past 40 years.
Well, thank you so much, Jeff. You know, I had been thinking about a 40th anniversary showcase, and you know, really hadn't been motivated to make any arrangements. October 7th of last year was such a strong call to action that I got on the phones immediately and started contacting people. And so basically from October of 2023 to February 2024, we organized the film festival, put all the pieces in place. And you know, the anthem that's being rung now throughout the world about anti-Semitism, it's a very nefarious kind of attitude about people. You know, I think that over the years, I mean, in terms of Jewish history, we've seen the rise and fall of anti-Semitism throughout Jewish history. And in this current phase, it seems to be so much more organized, so much more global. And so part of the rationale behind the film festival was to really try to prepare young Jewish minds for the conflicts that we are facing. And that's one of the reasons why we had such a diverse slate of films, because you know, like being an athlete, when you're exercising, you have a regimen and you work through the regimen, you build your muscles. If you're an intellectual, you're trying to build brain power, you need to have a regimen. And that's the same thing with the film festival, was to try and provide some kind of course of history for young minds to be able to see that this has gone on for a very long time, and it infiltrates through so many different aspects of our lives. One of the films that we did feature is a film entitled After Munich. That is a film that dealt with the Munich massacre when the Olympics were invaded by terrorists. And again, you know, unless it's in the front of your mind, you don't realize that this form of terrorism has been around for a very long time.
Well, and I wanted to really talk more about the impact that the film festival has had. I mean, over 40 years. That's a very long time, of course. But I mean, it started from the very beginning. Your first project helped to create an archival film of Holocaust survivors. The tapes would be used for research purposes by teachers and researchers and historians and others. And the format became the template for Steven Spielberg's film and video archive at the United States Holocaust Memorial and Museum. I mean, what a way to kick things off.
Well, good for you, Jeff, for picking out that specific detail. I was a very young man. We're going back to 1984. I was a very young man when my late mother passed away. And it was the suggestion of some of the senior people with the UJA Fund that we financed Dr. Paula Draper being a Canadian. And she had a responsibility to interview Holocaust survivors in Canada. And so she made up a certain kind of format of the interviews, and we provided funding for archival videotape. And it was just a coincidence that Steven Spielberg was also beginning his Shoah project and looking for a director. And Paula Draper became the director of the Shoah project, which really put us, at a very high level right from the very beginning.
Yeah. And is there anything in Canada like the Leo Shopsowitz fund? Is there anything like that in Canada?
Well, not only is there not anything like it in Canada, it's really quite rare in the entire world, and we distribute films all over. We had an email a few years ago from South Africa, and a group of women were hosting a Hadassah meeting, and the bibliography of our films are listed in a number of online library listings. And they picked up the fact that we had this film on the Jewish community that was created in Shanghai. That was a result of the Second World War. And they asked if they could borrow a copy. Well, we sent them a copy to South Africa for their Hadassah meeting. So one of the things that I did want to say to you today is that any Jewish organization in Canada, United States, anywhere in the world that would be interested in hosting any of our films, we'll work with them to create a film festival, or if they're just interested in any specific films. And I can be contacted through the UJA office, Mr. Adam Minsky, who is the CEO of the UJA. If anyone wants to contact me through his office, he knows how to get in touch with me.
Okay, and that's through the UJA, you said, right?
Yeah, UJA, he's the CEO, Mr. Adam Minsky, and he can contact me, and we'll support any Jewish organization, whether it's a school, a synagogue, whether it's a club of any kind, certainly anywhere in Canada, but also with the turmoil happening in the U.S. and in other foreign countries, we're happy to provide support anywhere that we can.
Noah, as much as you deserve so much credit for all of this happening over 40 years, as you've talked about, and as you would agree, again, of course, this all starts with your mother. Tell us a bit more. We should dedicate some time here to really getting to know your mother a little bit more. Tell us a little bit more about Lillian Leah Shopsowitz.
Right on. Well, Lillian Leah Shopsowitz was certainly a very philanthropic person, involved to a great extent with the Jewish community, as well as part of the women's movement in the Jewish community. And I will say that one of our supporters for the film festival is the Council of Jewish Women of Canada. And we got a lot of support from them. Most of the filmmakers that we've been supporting are also women filmmakers. So my late mother was involved with the art gallery. She was involved with the Beth Tzedek Synagogue. In fact, the gift shop has been named after her. She was a donor to the gift shop, and very involved with the Jewish community. So this was just a natural pathway We started with some individuals who were Bethsedic people. Then they led me to a Rabbi Irwin Whitty, and he created the original film archive that's up at the UJA Center on Bathurst Street. And so from there, we sort of brought the idea of this philanthropic film capability, and every film has a trailer that bears my late mother's name, the LEAH Shopsowitz Fund, and certainly we're very proud of the filmmakers. Francine Zuckerman. Francine Zuckerman is one of the great filmmakers. She's an award winner. We also work with Karen Shopsowitz, who is also an award-winning documentary filmmaker. I'm surrounded by wonderful people. I'm surrounded by a great motivation. And, we hope in the future that the fund will grow and that we'll be able to take on much larger projects.
Founder and director of the LEAH Shopsowitz Fund. It's Noah Shopsowitz. Noah, really appreciate your joining us, especially during Jewish Heritage Month, and congratulations on all the work that you're doing. Really appreciate your joining us to talk about it. Thank you so much.
Jeff, it's been a wonderful experience. Thank you and good luck.
Likewise, thank you. There is Noah Shopsowitz.